Rashad, why you didn't hit me up?
What's up, Rashad? Hey, Rashad.
What's up, Rashad?
Thank you, Rashad.
Brother, I love you, brother.
What's up, Rashad? What it do, boy?
Hey, Rashad.
Big Pluto, like what the world? Sliding in there, escalating. You know we deep it. We deep it. What's up, everybody? It's rashadmilliganbooking new to the channel. This is the road to 10K subs, man. Let's get into it without further ado. First things first, Young Thug. For the first time, I believe that I understand on this probation. This was the first time he did one of his public speaking appearances to the youth in the Atlanta area, in the city of Atlanta. And it was at an alternative school called Skyview High. So here we go from the Atlanta Voice themselves. This was one of the few news outlets that I knew that they wrote about it like expeditiously. This was written by Donnell Suggs. And shouts out to the Atlanta Voice. We love to support Black media. Link to the original video will be in the description. I want to inspire people in another way. Young Thug tells at-risk students to stay in school, dream big, and listen to God's call. And I want to pull up something else here that I just remembered from this trip and make sure we have that good and things of that sort. Okay, cool. All right, College Park, Georgia. The 2025-2026 academic year is beginning again, and for many Georgia students, the classes and homework assignments aren't the hardest part about being a student. At Skyview High School, the students are often on their last go-round with school, and anything positive to kick off the school year would be a good sight. Enter Jeffrey Williams. Walking into a small anti-room at the back of the building, Williams, 33, was accompanied by his attorney, Brian Steele, and some security. Wearing a white tank top, blue shorts, a hat, and black framed glasses, he immediately took a seat at the front of the room and began taking questions. He was at Skyview to talk to the kids about what road not to take. A Grammy-nominated rapper and cultural influences on millions of people around the world, he has an interesting story to tell. I'm a superstar, quote unquote. My words mean something, but I have to do the right thing with them. People listen to me, Williams said. Williams told the students, parents, and school faculty in attendance that he believed it was good for him to directly talk to the students before they get in trouble like he was in. Williams had to get judicial permission to enter Fulton County on Friday. He wants students to think about how they act and be careful with who they tend to spend their time with. Quote unquote, gangs and guns. I think that's lame. I wish someone had someone like me to talk to me about that when I was in school, Williams said. Brought up on RICO charges back in 2022, Williams, most commonly known by his rap moniker Young Thug, was facing decades in prison. On the first morning of August, Young Thug was talking to the young people about what not to do so they don't end up in legal trouble, end up in the legal and life-altering predicament he was most recently involved with. His message seemed clear. I messed up and I don't ever want to go through that again. Quote unquote, I feel like violence is not the thing. It's corny. It's not the thing to do, Williams said. Gangs is just not cool. I'm glad I had the opportunity for y'all to hear me say it. Asked what he thought it meant for Williams to come to Skyview High School to talk to the students, parents, and faculty. The morning MCs, Greg Clay, the executive director of the mayor's office of the Constituent Students Services and board member at Skyview High School, said Williams was speaking to the young people that have had similar academic situation from his. He's a former young person that went to an alternative school, so to speak to these students is important, Clay said. I think it's inspirational and it speaks a lot to the opportunity we all have at becoming better and the commitment we all have to becoming better. During the visit, which lasted just under an hour, Williams shared stories from his scholastic past and what he regrets from his past and present. Williams, who said his biggest regret was dropping out of high school, took photos with students and answered more questions after the event was done. Chris Buchanan, a former student at Skyview and an admitted Young Thug superfan, said he was excited when he learned the Atlanta-born rapper was coming to his former school. It put a smile on my face, Buchanan, 19, said. I'm just glad because he could be out here making $500,000 at a concert somewhere, and he's here speaking to us. Demetrius Sims, 18, also a fan of Williams' music, said he couldn't believe he was here at Skyview. It feels great. He's one of my idols, Sim. who sat in the front row, said, "It's a blessing to finally meet him." Wearing a black hood over his head and black jeans, Elijah Reed, 17, was on the inside of the room before an hour before Williams arrived. A student at Skyview, Reed said he often listens to Williams' music before and after school. "I feel like Young Thug's music speaks to me," Reed, a resident of Atlanta, said. "I think it's cool he's here, coming here today. When he raps, it's like you can feel it." Williams has children, and he said he taught some, including a 14-year-old son, about what he believes is right. He mentioned talking to God a number of times while at Skyview and shared that he had plenty of private conversations with God during his incarceration. "The impact that I have on Atlanta, I can only help y'all if y'all listen, but you've got to listen," Williams said. "The plan that God has got for you, you have to sense it in order to listen to it." Clay said there have been talks about working with Williams in the future. The grandmother of a student at Skyview wanted to use our opportunity to talk to ask Williams a question to thank him for showing up on Friday. She was seated next to her granddaughter, who is a student at Skyview. "I know Young Thug from TV, but now I can say I've seen you in person," she said. "Thank you for coming in here today." And here he is hugging somebody, and that is that. Shouts out to the Atlanta Voice and Donnell for that story. Something else from today of this trip was from Deasia. So I want to shout out Deasia of the AJC. And she said a student was rapping for Thug outside of the school. He said that's hard, is what Young Thug responded to it. But shout out to the young man for shooting his shot and rapping for Thug. He seen Thug and he took a moment to rap for him. So shout out to the young man. Best of luck to him in the future. And of course, Thug, he ended his day off. So he started off at the Skyview High School, and he ended it off, of course, in Atlanta, in College Park, once again, at the Dream Game. He's at the Dream Game for the first time. Young Thug was outside in Atlanta the first time his entire probation. So if you guys don't know the kind of marks of his probation, it's pretty much 15 years he can't come to Atlanta. Only time he can come to the city of Atlanta, or kind of the parameters of Atlanta, are if he's speaking to kids, doing community service like that, or has an approved event from the court that includes immediate family. So like an immediate family funeral, an immediate family graduation, something like that. He can come back in time for that. He has to come in 24 hours before the event, and he has to leave at least up to 48 hours after the event. So Doug, he went to the event earlier today, and then by the end of the night, he was at the Dream Game. So utilizing the most of his time before he has to leave Atlanta once again. So I'm glad that he had that opportunity to go back to his hometown just for a second and things of that sort. Okay, next thing's next. Anthony Fantano, he responds to his racist past. Now, before we get to this video, I want to share my thoughts on this entire situation. Someone had an 8-minute compilation of Anthony Fantano just saying kind of crazy, edgy things as jokes and laughing along with them on the internet. And people would be like, is this who y'all accepted in the culture? Is this the culture's best music nerd and things of that sort, that blah, blah, blah and everything? My thing with Fantano needle drop, I was never a needle drop like he represents the culture guy. Because I remember, if you're new here, my name is Rashad Milligan. This is the road to 10K subs. I'm a big Gambino guy. I'm a big Donald Glover, Childish Gambino guy. And I remember in 2011, there were a lot of people who were picking on Childish Gambino and Donald Glover because he seemed like an easy target. His rapping demographic and the thing that he was representing was too white for the black kids and too black for the white. And the nerds and everything like that, and just being an outcast and not being accepted. He was a true black nerd rapping about being a black nerd, right? And so because of that, a lot of media members and a lot of fans just thought that he was an easy target and an easy punching bag, Donald Glover, including Anthony Fantano. He really made fun of his first album, his first full-length project, post cul-de-sac and everything like that. It was Camp. In 2011, it came out the same day as Take Care. And he said he had nightmares about the album. And he even had this cut scene where he was in his backyard running with the leaves, kind of, because it was fall time. It was November. He was running from the Camp album. He's like, and the Camp album was chasing him. And he did like the most, just criticizing it. And he gave Camp like a light 1 out of 10 and things of that sort of 1.1 out of 10. It was something crazy. He said, this was one of the worst rap projects I've ever heard in my life. Is god awful. And this, like, he just kept going. But the thing is, when he came back again, I don't know if it was his Because the Internet review or if it was the Camp review, but he said, I don't know why you guys keep sending me rap projects. I'm not a guy who listens to rap music. I don't listen to rap music. Rap music isn't the primary thing that I listen to, but you guys keep sending me rap albums to review. He said that back in 2011 when he said that, or 2013 for the Because the Internet review. When he said that, I said, okay, I get it. I understand who this dude is now. He's not, but however, he just, like, when he breaks down stuff as a self-proclaimed internet's biggest music nerd, he breaks it down so specifically that people like listening to what he says. And then also his ratings are just always super harsh. So they want to see if he likes it. It's got to be good because he doesn't like anything. So I get the draw and the lore with him and things of that sort. But I also understand what he was very early because he kind of didn't hide it. He just said it. So yeah, with that being said, here's his 7-minute 43 second apology.
Fantano here, internet's busiest music nerd, and in case you haven't noticed, I'm getting torn apart on Twitter, which is nothing new for me personally, but the discourse seems to have reached a fever pitch that's making a lot of people concerned and angry and even thinking I'm covertly a racist, bigoted person. Now, these are the same sorts of allegations that I have fought against and won before, and I'm happy to do it again because I have nothing to hide and I know they're not true. I don't want to waste anyone's time, so let's just get straight into it. With Exhibit A, this clip right here, which has just been going absolutely viral, and here's my explanation for it. Early on in my YouTube career, I had some pretty lax views when it came to quoting the language of others, and my point of view was, what does it matter? It's not me saying it. I'm relaying a lyric or a sentiment or a point of view expressed by someone else. I'm even embarrassed to say that I don't think it was until like a few years ago that I actually changed and censored the text of this 2014 Death Grips review title. And as you can see in the comments of this video, there's even a lot of discourse and jokes flying around about me not saying the title. And at the time, this sort of thing left me feeling like this is more or less a moral gray area. I extended this attitude into other pieces of content I've made, like this one, where it is also clear I am quoting someone, even in the tightly edited state this clip has been presented in. And the reason I'm doing so is to voice disagreement with calling people racial and homophobic slurs as a bit, which is what the original content creator I was quoting was doing. And he himself has since apologized for this whole era of his career, but I'm not getting deeper into the weeds than that because this video isn't about him. Because the fact of the matter is I should have and could have just censored myself while pointing this behavior out. But unfortunately, my position left me feeling kind of nonchalant because it's not the words themselves, but the sentiment of them that's being expressed that's truly disgusting. And sure, while that is true on some level, explicitly quoting him was in bad form and just unnecessary. I would have still gotten my point across and done so without upsetting anybody had I taken that approach. And I feel this way now because of an important realization I only made after tons and tons of people were watching me, that I don't make content just for me, I do it for an audience. And I can't dictate what anyone watching may or may not find harmful or offensive, no more than then with a review, I can dictate what music you do or don't like. So I would rather err on the side of caution and not hurt anyone by explicitly voicing language that doesn't exist in a vacuum, even if I am quoting it. And that's actually been my approach for a very long time now. I mean, this clip may be new to you, but it's actually almost 10 years old. If this was ever something I made a regular habit of doing, believe me, you'd be seeing more examples than this. All I can do is take ownership of having quoted these words in this way and obviously say that I'm sorry, which I am in fact sorry about this. Now, there are going to be some people watching this video who will say, no, that's not enough. I know you're a racist. I saw a clip of you laughing at Trayvon Martin's death, which I guess this is the clip.
Vegan invited me to an event that taught me about PETA's buying guide / neoliberal whiteness and Trayvon Martin. Okay.
Dude, fuck Trayvon. I was thinking Trey Melvin. Trey Melvin. I had a big thing with Trey Melvin.
Which I will agree, that doesn't look good. But believe it or not, the way this clip has been presented is a lie, and it's been heavily edited too. First off, I gotta say the Drunken Peasants podcast where I was appearing in that clip is explicitly not a right-wing podcast. While, yeah, it's true the show has featured a pretty wild range of guests over the years and the humor tends to run a bit edgy, they also regularly make fun of right-wingers, alt-right psychopaths, and the president. And in this clip that you just saw, I'm reading a super chat that is on the screen that was sent in by a viewer of the show. And the reason I'm jumping into reading it is that partially it is a dig at me, because on the show, it's not exactly a secret that I'm an openly liberal vegan. And from there, here is what actually happens.
A vegan invited me to an event that taught me about PETA's buying guide / neoliberal whiteness and Trayvon Martin. Okay.
Dude, fuck Trayvon. I was gonna. I was gonna say Trey Melvin, but it's no Trayvon Martin.
Man, you're so. You know what, Jeff? You're so right wing.
As you can see there, that is not the clip that is getting passed around. In this original clip, Jeff Holiday there on the podcast doesn't even finish his sentence. He apparently gets Trayvon Martin mixed up with someone else entirely, and I even call him a moron. Because that is obviously something a fucking moron would communicate. So voila, that's actually what happened in that clip. With all that being said, I realized a long time ago that I really do need to be careful about who I talk to and what platform I appear on publicly, because in the eyes of the wrong person, any association or appearance can be read as a deep tie or an endorsement of an idea that I don't fucking agree with. Like, for example, if I did a stream with this guy tomorrow.
Fucking a dude, will you let him fuck you?
No.
Why not? Suppose he's like, yo, bro, listen, yo, you always wanted me to be next to you. Now I could be inside of you. Pause.
Yo, I'm not gay.
Oh, man.
You could do suck a dick, though.
Yeah.
People might understandably think that I endorse the idea of having sexual conversations with underage boys.
Oh, man.
So while I know that nobody owes me
man. We getting spicy in the world of media.
forgiveness, and I can't control what everyone thinks about me, I'm going to continue to do my best to make sure that I'm not sending across the wrong idea, especially considering a lot of the music I review and endorse on a regular basis deals in some pretty heavy and serious topics that I would be completely in opposition to were I a bigoted weirdo. But as much as this is a principle of mine, I would also like to be spared the headache of just some freak trying to frame me disingenuously and make it seem like I'm okay with a child being killed by a racist vigilante, which is where the most truly aggravating thing about this whole situation comes up, because we currently live in a time where between ICE, between our current president who got in the position where he is after saying that Haitian immigrants are going to eat your pets, white supremacy is like really at a fucking peak right now. And because of that, it's vitally important that when things are being called out as legitimately racist, that those accusations actually mean something. But I guess instead what some people would rather do is water down the impact of that and deceptively edit clips to make it look like I like it when children are killed. All right, I don't think I have anything else to say here. If there's something I've missed, I will try to circle back. That is, if we are talking about a case of something I've actually said or done or felt. I appreciate you watching, even if from here you don't see it in your heart to forgive me. Okay, boom, forever.
I ain't gonna lie. I felt like he handled that as well as he could. He handled it as well as he could, man. Excuse me. Like I said, like he said, like in 2011, 2013, he's like, stop sending me rap songs. I don't know why you guys keep wanting me to review rap projects. I don't listen to rap primarily. Like that's not my favorite genre to review or listen to. He said, but I'll keep reacting to. So when he said that, I said, okay, like you not, you know what I'm saying? This isn't you. But I mean, it is what it is. Drake is among the most, if not the most, inclusive artists of our culture that is put forth. Says Dreamville's boss in response to Ebro. I don't get this culture narrative that is persisted since the battle. If it's a Canadian thing, Toronto is an hour flight from NYC, LOL. Surely it's not his pen. He's arguably the greatest writer of a generation. So what is it? They said apparently Boss had an interview as well with Ebro, or he had an interview, and people are like, yeah, why is nobody talking about his interview? They're just talking about this comment about Drake. My 2 cents, Ebro, Drake is among one of the most, if not the most, inclusive artists of our culture. Has pushed countless rappers to the forefront, dance hall artists, Afrobeats artists, R&B singers, reggaeton, older artists, newer artists, etc. I don't get this entire culture narrative that has persisted since the battle. If it's the Canadian thing, Toronto is an hour flight from NYC. I'd argue that culture and ethnic makeup is more akin to NYC than pretty much any other city in the United States. NYC, Toronto, and London are attributive culturally. Surely it's not his pen. He's arguably the greatest rapper of a generation. So what is it? Okay. I guess to me, I just look at it like Boss is just a super, super Drake fan, bro. Because the whole thing of Drake helping out, dang, they deleted this one. This one got deleted. Whatever that tweet was, it's been deleted now. But I mean, to each his own. Everybody has their own different opinion, obviously, on the Drake thing. Let me see if Boss has an interview, because everybody's like, Boss did an interview. No one's talking about it. Let me see. It's up here. I don't know. I just felt like there was a lot of kind of ingenuine ways that bro was kind of bringing it up. I mean, Drake, like bringing up other artists. It just wasn't like he was doing it to benefit him, and he is presenting it as he was helping others. But it was really just in ways to benefit him and preserve himself as a hot act, especially in the mid 2010s. I think that's how he stayed relevant, kind of in the mid, after that initial Drake push and stuff like that. Concert in London. Let me see anything else. Okay, anyways, I'm gonna go to the next topic. But it's each his own. Like, it's the same discussion we've been having for the last 15, 20 years about Drake. So however you feel is how you feel, bro. All right. Gillie, he has responded to Cam Newton at his birthday party.
Cam ain't never had one of these. I ain't going back and forth with you, nigga. Thank you, Jalen. Appreciate you, Jalen. Love you, Nick. Love you, Nick. Appreciate you, Jalen. Cam Newton never had one of these. I said Cam Newton never got one of these. Thank you, Jalen. Thank you, Nick. Thank you, Jeffrey. Thank you, Dom. I'm not going back and forth for a lie. Jalen do a lot of things wrong, but he doing Cam ain't never had one of these.
All right, so I don't know, obviously, if he is if he's intoxicated or not in this, but if he was, getting drunk at your own birthday party and immediately just turn into like venting about your football debate that you're currently in that's going viral on the internet is hilarious. Those mascot allegations ain't going anywhere anytime soon. See how everyone got quiet after you say it? People know you tweaking. Didn't this make you look more like a mascot?
Boy, it's out the mud. We got Rashad McCown.
He's 81.
Boy, it's out the mud. We got Rashad McCown.
Hey, Rashad McCann's been giving me a terrible first name, bro.
Chris video.
Yeah, that's how like he was confident. He was confident. That was him. Just like I wasn't doing that.
Oh, nah.
That was him though. He was doing that.
Like you wasn't that Ludacris video.
Yeah.
Nah, ain't no way, bro. Nah. Ain't no way. That's got to be a lookalike, right? Was out here. Wow. Nah, that's insane, bro. Why he always screaming? Homie acting like he was on the Super Bowl roster. LOL, sit down. He was with the team every game. Gillie never had one either. This ain't a flex. I still don't know who this guy is. And he was a rapper, an underground rapper from Philadelphia who wrote for Lil Wayne. And then, his cousin got out of jail and had a very inspiring story, and they made a podcast together. Neither do you.
Never get out of here, nigga. You corny ass.
Why didn't his friends grab the mic and then they record it and put it on the internet? These ain't his friends. This thing is on brand for Gillie. He's been corny for a very long time now. What's funny about Gillie, Nick Cannon sold more albums than him, and everyone calls him a worse rapper. He definitely proved Cam's point. Big mascot, no amount of money will fix his culture. It's so weird. I guess Philadelphia didn't do numbers, LOL. He's irritating. Why would you make your birthday about him? That's corny. This made it worse. Cringe. He just proved his point. It's why you don't hype the wrong people that do goofy stuff like this. Someone tell Unc he not on the team. Nah, this ain't it. Cam isn't one up on this argument. I want to see if Cam responds to this, actually. Because I don't think Cam drinks. Like, Cam doesn't drink, Cam don't smoke. So it'll be interesting to see if he responds to it. People have their popcorn out, things of that sort. All right, next scene next. Joey Swoll is back on the internet, and he's speaking aggressively to his camera from the seat of his car to let you know he means business.
Or hate me, I am not going anywhere, and you are not going to cancel me. I just needed a few days to step back, to breathe, to get my mind right. And over those few days, I received thousands and thousands of messages from people telling me, do not quit. How much I help and inspire them, including messages giving me a good kick in the ass that I needed to get back up. So I am not quitting, and I am done apologizing. I'm going to continue making videos calling out bullies, being a voice for the people that can't defend themselves, and making the gym community and the world a better place, as I have done for years. Love me or hate me, I am not going anywhere, and you are not going to cancel me. I just needed a few days to step back, to breathe, to get my mind right. And over those few days, I received thousands and thousands of messages.
Accountability challenge 2025. When people missed a point, it's like you just missed a point, bruh. Like, you had a chance to be educated about why Hulk Hogan was a problematic figure, right? A couple years ago. You didn't do it. He passed away. You went full Hulk Hogan. Yeah, inspired me, everything like that. Ooh, I love Hulk Hogan. People criticize you again for that, right? Instead of dang, why are people criticizing and still criticizing? Let me look at what happened, everything in detail, why black people feel this way. As a white man, let me see how it feels. Instead of doing that, you double down on it. Then you triple down on it. And then after that, when people kept staying on you after the triple down and everything like that, said, I'm done with Joey Swoll, and those posts started to go viral. Then you went, oh, I apologize for my comments. This and that, the internet, the woke movement, the cancellation, And then after that, another day after that apology, oh, I apologize to all the people I let down. Oh, for the community, y'all keep remembering everything I did for y'all. I'm done. I'm out. And then 2-3 days later, not even 3 days later, not even 36 hours later, I'm back. I'm not apologizing anymore, and I'm doing what I always have done. Instead of what? Like, if I've done some reflecting and this and that, how about you return? You could even return with well, I know this is not really your content, but how about you return with a sit down with a black person who was offended by like Hulk Hogan's words or anything like that? And then you say, okay, why were you offended by someone who used the N-word? Why are you offended by it's just a word? It sticks and stones and break your bones, words and never held you. Well, because in my family, my auntie, my cousin went through woo, and I personally went through and came up in a community where they call me that. And when they call me that, it was usually followed up by ABC actions. Maybe that way. Okay, I'm so sorry. I heard you. I get it. I learned. Get educated publicly on what happens. Or if you do everything from your cell phone, you don't even have to leave the cell phone. You do a cell phone on a TikTok live and then have someone who is educated on TikTok live. I'm sure there is someone up there and they could break it down to you, the harmful effects of that word and why it's such a big deal for black people and things. And you guys could, oh, I'm sorry, black people. I've been educated. Get educated publicly. That'll turn the whole thing around. And like you said, and you don't have to play victim when you want to take a step away from the phone and take a break because it's too much. The criticism is too much for you. You can step away, do without the dramatic, I'm done. Regardless of how much I've done, you guys just want to see me fail. Like, bro, this is the first time I've seen you on a major level go viral, get criticized for anything you've ever done. And you've been popular since, dang, 2020, 2021, bro. At least. Chill out. Chill out and take accountability, bro. See, the problem is with a lot of situations, people just continue to play the victim. And just instead of taking accountability of what people are actually mad at the surface of what you've said or what you've done or this or that, you just still, oh man, and people just cancel you. And so you complaining and make yourself the victim as opposed to, okay, what can I learn from it? How can I get better specifically? And not just know, I'm sorry for offending someone. If I offended you, that wasn't my intention. I'm sorry. What is that? That accomplishes nothing. Next thing, bro. Federal funding is done for PBS and NPR. There are some people who said this is the end of PBR and PBS. That is not the truth. PBS and NPR will still be going on, especially in major metropolitan areas because of donations and support from viewers like you. If you ever watched Arthur back in the day, you know them sentences. You know the assortment of words in some way like that in the nature of the ballpark and things of that sort, right? And then NPR is still around too. But in rural areas, I think they said it's going to be tough to survive without federal funding. With that being said, this is CNN. Corporation for Public Broadcasting was shut down after Trump funding cuts. And if you say, oh, you got, of course, CNN, you got, I read other news stories on this channel from Fox News just to keep it balanced, just to keep myself sane. So don't start that. Link to the original story will be in the description. This is written by Liam Riley and Brian Stetler. Here you go. The Corporation for Public Broadcasting announced on Friday that it will wind down its operations due to the successful Republican effort to defund local PBS and NPR stations across the country. The announcement comes just a week after President Donald Trump enacted the recessions bill, clawing back congressionally approved federal funds for the public media and foreign aid. Of the $9 billion in canceled funds, $1.1 billion is earmarked for the corporation for the next few years. Despite, quote unquote, despite the extraordinary efforts of millions of Americans who called, wrote, and petitioned Congress to preserve federal funding for CPB, we now face the difficult reality of closing our operations. CPB President and CEO Patricia Harrison said in a statement, CPB remains committed to fulfilling the fiduciary responsibilities and supporting our partners. Hold on. Let me look this up. I know every time I do this, people.
Fiduciary.
Fiduciary. Fiduciary.
Fiduciary.
Fiduciary. CPB remains committed to fulfilling its fiduciary responsibilities and supporting our partners through this transition with transparency and care. Officials of this organization, which was founded more than 60 years ago, say they are focused on helping local stations figure out how to cope with the sudden budget shortfalls. Harrison has warned that some stations, particularly in rural areas, will have to shut down without federal support. Dang, this Mr. Rogers defending public media. Shouts out to Mr. Rogers, bro. Rest in peace of Mr. Rogers in 1969. Won't you be my neighbor? Most larger stations have numerous other funding sources, including viewer and listener donations to soften the blow dealt by Congress. Still, public media executives have warned us about the interconned system that will be weakened in various ways without federal funding as its foundation. And fiduciary means involving trust, especially with regard to the relationship between a trustee and a beneficiary. The ripple effects of the closure will be felt across every public media organization and, more importantly, in every community across the country that relies on public broadcasting. NPR CEO Catherine Mayer said in a statement, most of the corporation's roughly 100 staff positions will be eliminated when the money runs out on September 30th. The CPB will maintain a small transition team through January to guarantee, quote unquote, a responsible and orderly closeout of operations, said in the statement. The shuttering is a political victory for Trump, who tried several different methods to defund public broadcasting this year. At one point, he tried to fire 3 of the corporation's biggest board members, even though he has no authority to do so under the law created the corporation in 1967. The corporation went to court to defend its board members, but on Friday it filed a voluntary dismissal of the lawsuit, in effect acknowledging that Trump has prevailed. Quote unquote, Republicans have tried doing this for 40 years and failed, but no more, Trump wrote on Truth Social after the recession bill he pushed was approved by both GOP-controlled House and Senate. Even after Trump signed the bill into law, some public media advocates helped hope that federal funding could be restored through the normal appropriations process in Congress. Senators advanced the draft bill without any such funding on Thursday, however, signaling that such a plot twist was exceedingly unlikely for Trump and other Republican lawmakers. Eliminating the corporation is a successful stand against liberal bias, which they allege is a rampant problem at both NPR and PBS. For public media advocates, it's the end of a non-commercial TV and radio era, taking the federal government out of the funding equation altogether. The end of CPB is a direct result of deep and corrupt failure of Congress and the Trump administration to invest in informing the American public. Craig Aaron, co-CEO of Progressive Media Reform Group, Free Press, said in a statement, they have trashed decades of democracy, building up work, and denied many journalists, artists, educators, and creators the opportunity to be heard, and expressed hope for the publicly funded media to be reinvented into a bulwark against authoritarianism that meets the civic needs of all communities. Some station leaders have similarly described this moment as an opportunity to rebuild with more local level support. GPH, the public media house powerhouse in Boston, put up a sign outside its headquarters last month. They were at local, trusted, defunded. We're not backing down despite the federal loss. GBH is said in a fundraising push, but we can't do without you. Donate now to keep public media strong and independent. And there it is. There you have it. Okay, and the last thing I want to react to today is a man apparently unalived his wife, and then she came back 8 years later. All right. So let me see. This video is intended for informational purposes only and aims to raise awareness about true crime cases. This content is not meant to glorify or sensationalize criminal events, but to provide insight into the impact on the victims and communities. Viewer discretion is advised, as some material may be distressing. If you or someone you know is affected by the topics discussed, we strongly encourage seeking support from a mental health professional. The opinions expressed in this video are those of the creator and do not reflect the views of any of the associated parties. Always verify information through credible sources. So with that being said, the link to the original video will be in the description. Without further ado, the man who unalived his wife, buried her, and 8 years later, she knocked on his door. From True Crime themselves. All right, give it a second here. I'm going to wait about 30 seconds, 30 more seconds after that. We're going to wait 30 more seconds. I'm going to start the stopwatch right now. If you know, you know. You can't just say whatever or listen to whatever on YouTube in the first 2 minutes of a video. So I'm going to give it 30 seconds starting now. All right. I hope everybody's having a good day. And you guys are enjoying the stream and things of that sort. This is something that I saw actually on Twitter. It was someone who clipped it probably from TikTok. That's usually how things go. TikTok to Twitter and then goes to YouTube and things of that nature. And he said, have you guys heard of the man? He was in his backyard. Have you guys heard of the man who did this? I said, what? How is that even possible? So I stopped it right there. I didn't believe it. I went straight to Google and I looked it up on Google. And sure enough, this exists. This man actually did this. And this true crime video is the thing that came up at the top. So without further ado, once again, like I said, the original link to the video will be in the description, so you can watch it in its full glory and you don't have to wait a 2-minute little span for it. You can just get right into it, watch it yourself. Let's watch it from True Crime themselves. All right, bet.
It was a quiet evening in Atlanta, Georgia. Inside his sprawling home, Charles Chuck Garrison poured himself a glass of whiskey, settling into the life he had built, the life he had always wanted. 8 years ago, his wife, Denise Garrison, vanished, presumed dead. Chuck had played the grieving husband, held vigils, gave interviews, consoled friends and family. And then he had moved on, a new wife, a growing business, more money than ever. Everything had worked out perfectly.
I want a thumbs down, True Crime, for using AI for this story. Boo, boo. Hire people, bro. Hire people, man.
Until that night.
The robots are taking our jobs.
Until the knock. It was just past 9 p.m. Chuck had no visitors planned, no deliveries. His wife, his new wife, was out of town visiting family. He frowned as he set his drink down. Who the hell was knocking this late? Chuck moved toward the door, his steps slow, cautious. Then, another knock. Firm, deliberate. Chuck peered through the peephole, and his breath caught in his throat. He staggered back, his grip tightened on the door handle. No, it wasn't possible. It couldn't be. Denise standing there.
Is this real? Because if this is just a, please note some of the details may not align with the actual event. Is this just a story? Because I don't want to. I don't know if I want to just react to something that's fake. I feel like there's a chance this might be fake. It might not be real after all. So with that being said, take that into consideration. This is just for entertainment purposes only of this AI powered story. What was this, 8 months ago? 8 months ago? No, it's a couple months ago. This is March 2015. Okay.
Alive. Chuck's body locked up, his heart pounded. He had buried her. He had watched the dirt cover her body. For 8 years, he had lived knowing that Denise Garrison was dead, and yet she was standing on his porch, Her pink dress was perfectly pressed, her hair neatly styled. She wasn't dirty, disheveled, or broken. But there was something, bruises, faint but visible, around her arms. A scar near her collarbone. In those eyes that knew something. Eyes that said she remembered. A smile crept onto her lips. "Hey, baby." Chuck couldn't breathe. Denise tilted her head slightly. "Miss me?" Chuck's fingers twitched. His mind raced. This was a trick, a hallucination, a nightmare. Denise was dead. She had to be. For the first time in years, fear crept into his chest. Denise stepped forward. Too close. Too real. Chuck's voice finally cracked through the silence. "What? How?" His knees nearly buckled. Denise's...
I'm not gonna lie. I don't think this is real. I think I got got by AI in the internet, bro. Like a boomer. I don't think this is real. I'll react to the rest of it. Hopefully true crime don't, like, you know what I mean, do what they do, but we'll see.
Smile didn't fade. She wasn't here to explain. She was here to watch him squirm. The past had finally caught up, and Chuck Garrison knew it. His perfect life, over. Denise had come back, and she had a story to tell. This is the story of a man who thought he got away with murder, until his past knocked on his front door. Stay with us as we unravel a crime, a shocking survival, and the moment justice finally arrived. Subscribe now for more true crime stories that will leave you speechless. 8 years earlier, Atlanta, Georgia. To the outside world, Charles Chuck Garrison and Denise Garrison had a picture-perfect marriage. A beautiful home, financial success, a reputation as a respectable, thriving couple. Chuck, a well-known real estate developer, had built a name for himself. People trusted him, his handshake sealed deals, and his charm made him impossible to doubt. Denise, a former nurse, was the heart of their home, smart, independent, and fiercely loyal. Together, they looked like a power couple. But behind closed doors, their marriage was crumbling. And only Denise knew the truth. Chuck had always been magnetic, the kind of man who could talk his way out of anything. His voice was smooth, his smile disarming. People liked him, trusted him, wanted to be around him. Denise had fallen for it once. When they first met, Chuck had swept her off her feet. Flowers, romantic dinners, thoughtful surprises. He made her feel special. She was 26, working the night shift at the hospital. He was 31, already making big moves in real estate. He promised her a good life, stability, love.
I'm not gonna lie, I can't even finish this. I'm not even gonna finish this because I don't believe it. There's nothing else on the internet about this. It's literally this and a dude talking about this video. That's it. That's the only proof we have of this on the internet. Here's a video that I saw. I looked it up.
That killed this.
Just a random dude just talking on his phone about it. I was like, oh snap, is this real? And when I seen the videos, I said, oh, let me look at
wife. And 8 years
I fell for the okie doke.
later, she came knocking on his front door with the police, telling the man, "You tried to kill me." This is Denise, y'all. Denise's husband and her went on a vacation to Mexico. They was dealing with all type of financial problems, infidelity, and all the and above, going through it as a couple. He thought he had unalived her, buried her, watched the dirt go over her body, went back home, reported her missing. 8 years later, she comes knocking on the front door. When he opened the door up and he realized who it was, he was in disbelief. She said, "You tried to kill me, but you didn't break me." Could y'all imagine what was going through this man's mind, thinking that he had unalived his wife, reported her missing, and got away with it, when in reality he didn't? This goes to show a lot of times we do things in the dark and we don't think it's going to come back to bite us in the ass. Now look, this woman is still very much beautiful, living her life, and this man is locked up with a life sentence.
I'm sorry I fell for that, y'all. This is the road to 10K subs. My name is Rashad Milligan, man. We'll be back live tomorrow because I'm live each and every single day on this channel, man. Until next time, make sure you have a good morning, have a good afternoon, have a good evening, have a good night, have a good day. And if nobody else told you today, I care for you. I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Rashad, why you didn't hit me up?
What's up, Rashad? Hey, Rashad.
What's up, Rashad?
Thank you, Rashad.
Brother, I love you, brother.
What's up, Rashad? What it do, boy?
Hey, Rashad.